Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Simple Fund 360 webinar for Thursday, the 25th of September, right before long weekend in Melbourne for grand final. Hope you all are enjoying your Thursday, and we'll wait one more minute till we get to 11 to allow as many attendees to join as we can. Can everybody hear me? Just raise your hand. Yeah, great. All right, so bit of housekeeping before we get started. The webinar is being recorded. So anyone who may have missed out on joining the webinar, we do send it out post the conclusion. Any of your colleagues or anyone who would be interested in viewing the webinar, please feel free to forward it on to them. Like I mentioned, all attendees will receive an email either later today or tomorrow. And also we've put everyone on mute, meaning that you won't be able to interact throughout the webinar. However, we have opened up the Q&A for any questions. So feel free to put any questions in the Q&A panel. I do have Andre and Carlos joining me today from the training team and our sales team. They'll be able to answer any of your questions throughout the webinar that I might not be able to get to. I'll leave 5 minutes at the end that we can go through any of the questions that you may have. So let's get started. 11:01. Some of the things I want to discuss today in regards to Simple Fund 360, BGL's SMSF administration and compliance platform is a bit about the BGL history and where Simple Fund 360 began. So back in 1990, we released a Simple Fund desktop. So we've ridden the wave all the way from desktop to cloud technology, starting off with desktop. This incorporated file-based feeds, having to download them every day from BankLink, which many of you may be aware of or heard of. We have additional features managing compliance, pensions, accumulation, tax return, etc. in that technology. So for its time, it was quite revolutionary. Then we progressed into SMSF cloud technology, and this is where the real efficiency gains began. So included automatic data feeds from brokers, banks, wraps and platforms, automated registry, actuary requests, digital documents, an increase of API ecosystems, including Xero, your banks, brokers, wraps and platforms, legal document providers for deeds, creating SMSFs, etc. And then probably about 5 years ago, back in 2020, the rise of AI technology really became the forefront of the tech sector. And what our developers at BGL were able to do was incorporate that AI directly into Simple Fund 360 to assist our user base. And what that meant for our users is the digital process of automation through work papers and signing, which I'll touch on through our Smart Docs technology, pushing through into our work paper module. Special AI and machine learning, which would match transactions given descriptions and amounts with our smart matching screen, which I'll go through. And we've began in 2.0, 3.0 and 3.1. And then also our AI and machine learning plus OCR through our Smart Docs technology. Okay, and what that does is scan all sorts of different source documents, including bank statements, contract notes, distribution statements, rental property, utilities, etc., which all can be fed into Simple Fund 360 and matched to their corresponding transactions and flow into the work papers. So that's really the journey that we've taken over the past 30 years with Simple Fund 360 or our SMSF technology. And I'm sure moving forward as technology does improve, it will also go with the trends. So why invest in Simple Fund 360? What the main benefits of the platform is accuracy and error reduction through those different feeds that we have coming through, reconciliation with the banks, brokers, wraps, and platforms, the ability to bring through registry data with 98% coverage with computer share, link, and boardroom, plus many more feeds from the ASX and your corporate actions, etc. Your time efficiencies, bringing through data and having them automatically matched with the transactions using that AI and machine learning tech that I mentioned, which I'll cover off on. Our compliance and audit readiness through our work paper feature, being able to interact with those work papers, have all the data in Simple Fund 360 for the funds, pre-populate the work papers with the schedule, the source documents, and other reconciliation reports that are available in the platform, and being able to send that directly to the auditor and interact with them within the software. So not having to have multiple different platforms outside of the platform that you're using. Scalability and multi-user access. So you're able to invite in all of your colleagues or staff members into the platform, plus the trustees and the auditor. Integration and automation. Our many integration partners really make Simple Fund 360, what it is today, and really is one of the biggest advantages of having a cloud-based technology. And security, data protections. Okay, so we are ISO compliant. We do have multi-factor authentication for all users for that extra layer of security, and we do take it very seriously. So security and data protection is really at front of mind when maintaining and developing Simple Fund 360. And then our professional reporting and forecasting. So we prepare over 170 different reports, which I'll touch on as well. But before that, I'm going to run a quick poll. I really want to understand who is in attendance today, and it will give me a better idea of how to tailor this webinar to those attending. So I've launched the poll. Feel free to fill out the questions. If you're currently using a software for SMSF administration and compliance at your practice, what is your biggest challenge when managing SMSF compliance? Is that manual data entry, time saving, gathering documents from clients, staying on top of regulatory changes, etc. And what is most important to you when choosing an SMSF compliance platform? So feel free to fill that one out. Is it the integrations? Is it the security, customer service? You can select more than one. And then how many SMSFs does your firm currently manage? Which features would you most value to your SMSF processes as well? So this really helps us improve the platform. We're updating Simple Fund 360 every 3 weeks. Okay, so we're releasing new features. We're fixing any features. We're implementing any recommendations from our user base, which is really important and is why so many firms have stuck with Simple Fund 360 over the years, because we do listen. All right. So what I've noticed is everyone, the manual data entry, reconciliations, gathering documents from clients seem to be top of the list here. Time saving and automation, seamless integrations, ease of use, and would really like to see built-in compliance work papers, AI-powered transaction matching, and automated data feed. So we'll cover off on all of them right now. So thanks very much, everyone, for filling out that poll. All right, so logging into Simple Fund 360, it brings us into our Insights dashboard screen. What that is it shows all the SMSFs that we currently manage under our subscription. We can see what financial year that the current funds are in, so we can manage that workflow in what needs to be completed. We have filters on the left-hand side, so you can dive deeper into the data into your SMSFs, filtering through different financial years. Is the fund registered for GST? What's the trustee type? And trust deed last modified date. All important information that you can access at the click of a button, plus more. Selecting a particular fund, we're able to view the fund dashboard screen. So the fund dashboard screen gives us some insights into what needs to be completed for this particular fund. So the Insights dashboard was on a firm level, on a global level, whereas the fund dashboard screen really focuses on the particular fund, showing us the amount of transactions we need to fix and match to the chart of accounts, corporate actions that we need to complete, distribution tax automation, which is that annual tax statement that's coming through, and how I'll show you how Simple Fund 360 handles that. Our different work papers and how many schedules that we need to complete within the work paper. What's the lodgement status? Our data feeds. Is the fund registered for SuperStream? And the digital signing piece that we have built within the platform to send out your reports seamlessly and have them signed and filed back into Simple Fund 360 at the click of a button. Okay. What more we have on our on our fund dashboard screen is a little bit of information about the investments that the fund currently holds in a pie chart here, and the performance. We can also see information about members. So the different members, we can see Peter here, age 70, Lois, 45, the total member balance, what their pension balance, accumulation balance are, and some quick info about the different contribution caps, pension minimums, and also our T-bar caps. We can also view information about the pension dashboard, which gives us further information about how the drawdowns of each particular member. We can also request an actuarial certificate directly through the platform and have that percentage feedback within a couple of minutes. Our data feeds are really important when getting Simple Fund 360 up and running in your firm. You know, the data feeds are really essential when processing SMSFs. You know, they'll allow transactions to flow in daily from the bank, and it also will reconcile. So we can see here, we've got feed operating, we've got the balance on the ledger and the balance on the bank statement. So, you know, it really reduces that risk of human error, which I mentioned, that accuracy and error reduction, you know, because if we're uploading CSV files, if we're entering data manually, there's always room for error there. But with the data feeds, the risk is virtually eliminated, and we're really focusing on that review process rather than that processing. Okay. The beauty about Simple Fund 360 is we support over 350 different banks, brokers, and wraps and platforms. Okay, so majority of the you know, those feeds will be covered off on with the funds that you currently manage. We have also thought of an alternative. So if you can't get access to those feeds, or perhaps the trustees of the fund aren't comfortable with connecting the software to the bank, what we have also allowed users to do is upload bank statements, PDFs, to the fund, and the fund will read all of those bank statements and post them to the ledger, which I'll show you shortly. We've got information about our connection, so you can connect the auditor. We've got relationships, different jobs that we can tick off on as we go through and complete each aspect of the fund. Just pop out of this. And some notes that we can add. So if we jump into our transaction list, Simple Fund 360 has been designed as a smart general ledger, double entry software platform. So we've really maintained the basics, but we've built on top of those basic accounting basics to create the efficiencies that accounting firms are wanting. So we can see here different transactions we can select. We can see the different debits and credits and the accounts that have been selected. If we open up this more details, we can see all the tax information for each particular at a transactional level. So that is also available. We can journal between accounts by clicking new transaction and either selecting journal. We got bank statement, depreciation, or corporate action. So it is all available. You can very easily filter in this screen by particular account. So if I want to see all the distributions for this NDQ, I just need to select that account and it will pop up. And you can do this more and more as more transactions are flowing through into the particular fund. What we've done is we identified, and going back to that that graph that I showed you, was we're now into that AI machine learning phase of the technology. So we developed our smart matching screen. We can see up the top here, we've got all of our bank accounts, okay? And we can see that they're reconciling with the balance on the ledger to the balance on the bank statement. It does that every single day. The way we bring in data into this screen ready for processing is 3 different ways. We can do it either via CSV import. Okay, so if you can get a copy of the CSV, fantastic, import it in. You can set up the bank feeds, so they'll automatically flow into this screen. Or, like I mentioned, if you can't get a copy of the CSV or set up the bank feeds, and you can get the PDF, you're able to then import. So I'm going to import this Macquarie bank statement as a PDF. The software, using our OCR and AI algorithm, will read all sorts of different documents, not only bank statements, but in this example, the bank statements, and post all the transactions to the table. And once I click create, it will post them to the smart matching screen, ready to match to the chart of accounts. What we can see here is our date, description, and debit and credit. Our predicted chart or rule with this little icon, alien icon here, means we're using AI in the platform to code these transactions to various accounts in the chart. The software even gives us a confidence rating on how confident it is that these are correct. We can see little SD, which means smart docs. This means we've uploaded documents into the software where it's smart enough to recognize the total amount. So our $415.22, it has automatically picked that up on this electricity bill that we have sent in. We have uploaded it into the platform, and it's automatically matched. And where that really benefits our users is when it then flows through into our accounting work papers module that I'll show shortly. You're able to search, split different transactions, and once you're happy with that, you just select match, and it will match to the electricity account under the specific property that it's relevant to. You can go down the list and match all these transactions. Ones that say review obviously need a bit more information, like this pension's paid. You'll need to select the pension account. Okay, so that is how we match the transactions in the platform. Very, very straightforward. The ease of use is we're really focused on making this as easy as possible. Once these have been matched, you'll see them all in our transaction list under the GL here. If you want to then reconcile and have a look at the different balances, the trial balance, you can click Account View, and what it will do, it will be interactive, so you can go through and view, let's say our distributions received, select that distribution account, and we can see all the distributions that have come through and the transactions. We can open up the transactions by clicking on the little bobby pin icons here if you need more information. Okay. Next, if we jump back into our fund dashboard screen, we have our corporate actions to process. So really, really important on a yearly basis that we're going through and ticking off on all of the corporate actions. We have a direct feed from the ASX, so you no longer have to do a journal for DRPs, for example. But not only that, we support bonus issues, code class changes, demergers, takeovers, return of capitals, consolidations, and share splits. But they'll all show automatically for you in the corporate actions on what you need to prepare. If you've then received or matched this particular distribution or dividend, it will no longer show on the corporate action screen. You can ignore that particular corporate action. If I select process, okay, it has automatically been pre-filled for us. So we can see here it's selected the payable date, the ex-balance date, how much the reinvestment is it a dividend or distribution, the franked amounts, the franking credits, the different residual balances, the residual accounts, etc. Then all you need to do is select process corporate action. Once we've done that, it will post a manual journal to the ledger, okay, which we can see here. All right, and then if we jump back into so all our corporate actions are up to date. If we jump into distribution tax automation, this is our annual tax statements, okay? We know that this has been a real pain point for our users in the past, being able to, bring through the annual tax statement data as efficiently as possible. So what we've done is our team is able to, and the software is able to generate a system, what's called system data. So what we do is we bring through all the information through from the annual tax statements from those ETFs and managed funds, and we're able to, using different calculations, input all of the tax into this annual tax statement, which we can see here. If it isn't supported, that particular security, we're able to then upload a copy of that annual tax statement. So if you have that as a PDF, you just click here where it says upload documents. You'll put in, for example, this one's an NDQ tax statement, select it. The software will take about a couple of minutes to analyze that data. Okay, we can see here that particular statement, if I just zoom in a bit further. And the real benefit of doing this through Simple Fund 360 is all the different tax rates are, we convert them to an SMSF. Okay, so a lot of them are being sent as an individual at the individual tax rate, but we convert it to an SMSF tax rate. So something that may have taken 10 minutes for you to input now takes maybe 2 minutes for you to input or just review. And if we're looking across all of your funds that you may manage, if let's say a fund has multiple, the funds have multiple annual tax statements coming through, if we multiply how long it's taking to do that manually in comparison to the Simple Fund 360 way, you can definitely see the time savings that you're going to get out of the platform. We can then generate the tax data and post accruals, waiting for that cash amount to come through. and then, or we can just generate and mark as reviewed. Not only that, we can expand, we can see all the distributions throughout the year that have come through from that particular security. All right, so really, really fast processing in Simple Fund 360. So what you've noticed me do is I jump back and forth from our fund dashboard screen, just making sure I'm ticking off on all of those indicators or the to-do list, for example. You can also go into the jobs. So we've created BGL or Simple Fund 360 jobs, which then will go into more detail. And, this is fully customizable. You can go and prepare or create like I did earlier, an SMSF annual accounts. And then you can add each task that needs to be completed for that particular fund. If I jump into work papers, very similar. So to the jobs that I just showed, our work papers are fully interactive, very, very quick to generate. So we just select the financial year, the start and end date, and we can put a preparer and a reviewer. So I can select, for example, Anthony here, and then click generate. What that will do, it will do a dump of the trial balance and any source documents, reconciliation reports, work paper reports that is necessary for you to complete your work papers. We can see here we've got different statuses on the work papers. Okay, so you can toggle through those to just see which ones are in progress, ready for review and completed. You can refresh the work papers at any time, meaning that if any changes are made to the trial balance or any accounts have been updated, just select refresh, and what it will do, it will tell you the last updated underneath each account. Okay, so probably won't be relevant to all the accounts, but those that change has affected will show that last updated and flag it for you. You can then export the work papers, the full schedule, the documents, and the notes, or you can do individual. You can notify the preparer at any time. So if you're the reviewer and a rework's required or a review's complete, and then as the preparer, you can notify say the entity is ready for review or rework complete and review again. You can also notify the auditor to commence the audit on the fund. So, that cross collaboration that we have really focused on with the work papers, and having multiple stakeholders be able to access and work on the fund is really important, just to complete as quick as possible. So if I select, so I might go back to our 21 work papers. So what we can see here, like I mentioned, the updated, we can see ready for review, the different statuses. And then if I select, for example, our dividends here, we can see our 2 dividend accounts. If I select Commonwealth Bank, we can view the dividend statement, okay, that we've uploaded into the platform at an earlier date, or whenever you might upload it. You can upload directly to the work papers if you haven't already done so. Then we've got our Macquarie dividend statement as well, and this will all pull through from the transaction list. Okay, we can see more information about the different dividend reconciliation reports, investment income comparison reports that we can view as well, which will give us more information about the particular accounts. We have checklists that we can go through and review. So, this BHP, CBA, and Macquarie, is it matching up on the investment comparison report? And do we need to review? Attach all copies of dividend statements, attach copy of dividend reconciliation report. So you can go through each schedule, each account, and tick off on and complete the work. So, maybe a client query, we need to get the BHP dividend So waiting for, okay, add the note and close and move on to the next one. Okay. So very straightforward, easy to use. Those using Xero will notice the similarities given the partnership that we have just established with Xero taking on our work papers in their platform. Moving on, all of those documents that you saw in the work papers, they're all able to be uploaded into our document screen. So just select upload them into here, and the smart AI technology will get to work and start filing each of those documents in their specified accounts, which we can see on the left-hand side here. So if I select dividends again, I suppose nice and easy, we can see the different dividends that have come through depending on the financial year that we're currently in. Okay, so or distribution statements. If I select them, we can see more information about that particular annual tax statement, which folder it's in, the different tags, etc. I'll jump back into our fund dashboard, okay, and we'll jump into lodgement. Okay, in order for us to prepare the tax return, we do need to first complete what's called period compliance. Once the fund, all the processing has been completed throughout the financial year, you're able to select create entries, allocates profit and loss to members, and prepare and calculates all the tax and creates the tax return. You'll have some indicators that will pop up that will just show some information about what needs to be completed. If we jump into tax compliance, we have our fully interactive tax return here, which we can see all the different fields which you can make any changes to if necessary. You then validate this tax return with the ATO, so you can connect Simple Fund to the ATO portal, validate, and then lodge directly through the software. If you are using Xero Tax and prefer to lodge through Xero, select Xero Connect and it will push all the tax return directly into Xero Tax, and same as lodge it. Okay. We can also view under connections our lodgement screen, which will show us all the statuses on the particular funds and what needs to be lodged, and get different status reports, etc. Okay. Jump back into fund dashboard, super stream. So we do support rollovers, contribution data coming through from the employer, and then also digital signing. So what I might do, I'll jump into our reports. Okay, like I mentioned, we support over 170 different reports. You're able to create different report packs to be then sent out to your clients. You can name those report packs. So I've got end of financial year 24, and we do have the ability to preview these reports and edit them in either PDF, Word, or Excel, so you can see which are compatible and which ones can be edited and templates being created for them. Then we can download this report pack, or we can send it out with digital signing to our client. I'll show you how this works. Very, very straightforward. If you do have a DocuSign, FuseSign, or PleaseSign account, you just link it into the software under settings. You can enable SMS authenticator for that extra layer of security. And then we can see here on our right-hand side all the reports part of the pack and those ones that are applicable for electronic signing. We can see who it's being sent out to, so the trustees, and who will be signing each report, so the return, the minute, and the lodgement declaration. Once we hit confirm, it will bring a nice template which we can help you customize and make it look nice and pretty and branded to your firm. And then once we click send email, the client will receive a copy of this email with a link to the portal, whichever electronic signing platform you're using. And then once they sign, it will flow directly back into your document screen. You'll get a little notification under the bell. And if I select sign, okay, we'll be able to see that report pack and the different status on those reports. So this is our report pack here, and we can see further down under our minutes of meeting for the trustees that we've got Lois Griffin to electronically sign that report pack. So really easy to use. You're going to get those reports back as quick as possible and lodge those returns. So the trustees can get back their refunds as quick as possible. What we'll show now is some information about the different investment dashboards, so you can quickly view the performance of the fund, okay, and how that matches up against the benchmark. So you've got your ASX 200, the different pie charts that show the different asset weightings of the fund, income, market gain, and we can also see the performance of the fund. Maybe this is, what you can give access to the trustees when they, if they are interested in logging in to the particular fund. Our property dashboard, so we can bring through the valuations from various different external service providers. I know that Acumentus now pushes the data, the property data into their platform, and then pushes the valuation back into Simple Fund 360 and has that property revalued. A couple more we're working with, but at the moment you can just request a valuation through here. You're able to add that valuation if it's not automatically connected like Acumentus, put in the source, the different providers, etc. And our new feature, our invoices. So not only do we prepare multiple different sets of reports, now we can also do invoicing. The trustees can now invoice for the rental properties. Okay, so really easy to use. We can see the different drafts, unpaid and paid. If I select this particular invoice that I've generated earlier, we can see we've got rent, maintenance, and car parks that can be directly sent out to the tenants. Okay, and we can put some more information in that particular screen there. All right, so we'll just jump back into our presentation. Okay, so I suppose we've covered off on multiple areas in the platform, that accuracy and error reduction, scalability and multi-user access, security and data protections, time efficiencies, integration and automation, professional reporting and forecasting, and compliance and audit readiness. I might quickly just show you a copy of the reports. Very, very quick to generate. Okay. A question that's come through, which I might just quickly jump into, is about dividends that haven't come through yet, the cash side. So what we've designed is our investment income generation report. Okay, what that will do, it will bring through all the dividends for that particular fund. Okay, the securities that the fund holds, all the dividends will come through ready for your review. You can decide if you want to put them to the distribution account or the receivables. Okay, and then you can post those amounts directly to the transaction list, waiting for the cash to come through. So if you wanted to do that a bit earlier, instead, alternatively, if you didn't want to do that, once the cash comes through, it will automatically match to the dividends that have come through into this particular screen. So just depending if you want it to sit as a receivable, If not, just wait for the cash to come through over the next couple of days after the declaration of that dividend, and it will all match up automatically with all the franking credits and all the tax side. Okay. If I select the statement, so we've got our cover letter, our index, statement of financial position, operating statement, members summary, notes to financial statements. Okay, our tax return. And like I mentioned, all can be printed off if you like. If you want to set up the electronic signing, you can do that as well. Okay, our tax return. Statement of taxable income, investment summary report, okay, and different investment reports that we've got here. Unrealized capital gains, realized capital gains, investment income, and our meeting minute and electronic lodgement declaration. Okay. All right. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into, probably what you've all been waiting for is, so going back, I suppose I skipped over the digital accounting work papers, but I suppose these are the benefits: the traceability, the transparency, consistency, that smart integration with the smart docs pulling through those dividend distribution statements, utilities, etc. And then that communication piece with, being able to email, notify, and share with the auditor and the preparer and the reviewer. All of our integration partners that make BGL what it is today, going through different banks, brokers, wraps and platforms, all our actuarial providers. I think we support just over 10, the registries, the digital signing, Xero, and more. Bit of feedback. So, is Simple Fund 360 tested and proven? Some of the things our clients are saying about us. It brings all the information that I need into the one spot. We love the automatic document reading and population of end of year tax. Saves a lot of time with the data feeds and investment income from the ASX, and more. Okay. One of our customers who, really implemented Simple Fund 360 quite a number of years ago, can now she mentioned she can now focus on what really matters, our relationships with our clients. And I think that's probably the most important thing of managing SMSFs, being able to maintain that relationship with your client and, really have that point of difference over other firms, and assisting them with their compliance. So really important, and some good feedback from Diana. So how do we get started? BGL has a client success team who will basically set up all of your funds for you as a complimentary service. We work with you to get all the data necessary to set up either all of the opening balances, or depending if you're coming from another software platform, we might be able to transfer all of that data direct. But they are available, and do run through brief training with your team. A lot of training resources available. We're about to record our 2025 Education Week. Okay, so that will be available next month for you to have access to. So really good timing if you're interested in signing up. And plus all the resources available within the platform, which include the BGL Learning Channel. So we will set up the funds for you. Just get in touch with us and we can explain to you how that works. Our pricing, okay, so we start off at 130 XGST per fund per annum. The initial minimum is 5 funds, but then after 5, you can jump up by one at a time. All right, you'll have unlimited users to access the software, telephone support, and 12 months access to the BGL learning channel, which I believe is free now, so ignore that. Our bank data add-on is 45 XGST. So if you do want to add on the bank feeds to a particular fund, you do have the ability to do that. The minimum is 5 funds to start off initially, and that's for the year. Unlimited bank accounts, unlimited transactions. So it's not limited to just one bank. Okay, and the same goes for the share data pack. So if you want to bring through all the broker buys and sells and the registry data from Computershare Link and Boardroom, it sits at 45 XGST. You can pick and choose which funds that's applicable to, so you can be as cost effective as you like. If you like what you heard today, please get in contact. My email address is on the screen. We will be sending out a copy of the recording either later today or tomorrow. Given public holiday tomorrow in Melbourne, it will probably be on Monday. And we'll get in touch with all of you who attended just to see what your thoughts were. And if you had any questions for us about Simple Fund 360. So we're looking forward to having a chat with you at a future date. We'll hang around for perhaps another couple of minutes. Smash the Q&A, put in as many questions as you like, and Carlos and Andre and myself will be happy to go through and answer your questions. If you're in Melbourne, have a lovely long weekend. If you're not, have a good weekend coming up, and looking forward to chatting with you in the future. Thanks. All right, one of our questions that have come through about the investment strategy. Okay, I'll quickly show you how that works. So under our investments tab, we can go through and put in the minimums, max, and the target. What it will then do, or you can order a more specialized investment strategy through one of our partners called Smarter SMSF, and it will push through all the data in and out. Once we select save, okay, we can then prepare that particular report. Bear with me for one tick. Under reports. Okay. Clear that. And I'll prepare those reports for you. Okay, so we've got an investment strategy. Obviously, this is just dummy data that I've put in, but you can see the gist of it. Okay, then you got investment strategy comparison. And our strategic asset allocation report. I hope that helped. You can also create, so if I jump into the investment dashboard, we can view the investment strategy here. Okay. So investment strategy comparison in different graphs. And then the different asset allocation, the chart. Okay. And then that strategy comparison detailed. Question: how to add a bank feed for a fund? Very easy. You just jump into our feed management screen. It will bring up all the banks that are currently in the fund. If you need to add a bank account, you can do that under our smart matching screen. And then what you can do is then select setup, select which, if it's most of the time it's the BGL Bank Data Service. What it will then do is, give me a tick, BGL Bank Data Service, it will print the forms and letters for you to then pass on to the trustees for signing. Okay. Once they've signed it, upload it back in here. We liaise with the bank, and then I think within 5 business days, it gets set up. So with the investment strategy, it will show, so you'll be able to put in the minimums, maximum, and the target. Then you'll be able to print off a copy of the this report here, and it will show you where the current holdings are. Are they within the minimums and maximums and the targets? All right, we'll leave it there. Um, we'll be in touch with you next week sometime. And if you do have any lingering questions that you think of over the weekend, um, please let us know when we do get in touch. And we're more than happy to answer those questions for you. Thanks again, and have a good day.